let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bleed's Crypto Show. My name is Bleeds. We're here to talk about this crazy ass crypto market. And guess what? We've got some hot and breaking news right now, which is, in my opinion, about to become an absolute jaw dropper. There is a big, it was at first a rumor, and it seems like it has now become something more. Let's see, where are we? It'll take me 1 second here because it just broke a second ago. All right, here we go. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. This is massive. Whale Insider is now reporting that CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is going to offer 24/7 trading for crypto futures. Now, this is just the start. This is just the start of what could end up being an incredible moment for all of markets, because if this is the case, this is leading the way to a 24/7 stock market for everybody. It starts with crypto futures, but once you get the friction removed from these transactions, then guess what? This is going to lead to a 24/7 trading economy. No more bell ringing in the morning at the stock exchange. No more bell ringing for the close of the stock exchange. It's just going to be 24/7, and that is coming. And this was and is the very first step at making that happen. Not only that, while we're on CME, institutional adoption is starting to hit XRP. Solana futures hit $1 billion in 5 months, and they are outpacing it. Is outpacing Bitcoin and Ethereum. So there's going to be an absolute, run on crypto coming up very, very soon. Speaking of absolute runs on crypto, look at what's been going on for the last bunch of days. Uptober so far has been absolutely breaking out. And in addition to that, not only did that happen, but NVIDIA stocks breaks above $190, becomes the world's first $4.6 trillion company. NVIDIA has now added $2.5 trillion in market cap since its April 2025 low. What a crazy number we are witnessing with NVIDIA right now. And remember, NVIDIA will be or is at the forefront of the AI revolution. So as long as NVIDIA is out here, then I do think, by the way, that this is a good time. I don't know if this is the right price, but it would be a very good time to accumulate some render, because that's the one, that's the single big crypto out here that fits in very well with NVIDIA. Some of the NVIDIA board of directors are also on the render board. NVIDIA's deeply integrated with render token. So I would suggest that you might want to get yourself some render right now, because if NVIDIA keeps blowing like it's doing, then you're going to see the same thing happen to render. It's only a matter of time. Speaking of only a matter of time, no bull market indicators have been hit yet, meaning we're at 0 of 30, which is 100% hodl mode. I do want to tell you guys, after I got done last night with my live stream on Margex. Margex is the sponsor of those 4 right now. I am in conversation with another company about them taking over sponsorship of these. I wanted to inform you guys, I went ahead and took the profit. So instead of being at 5,600, we're now at 6,335. I am still down a bit on this avalanche. Haven't taken the loss yet. It still seems to be like it started to move pretty good. And it's to be fair, like when you look at it on the 1 hour, and when we were doing this last night, it was sitting right around, I want to say, where the hell were we here? We were doing this at 1800 hours. So we're right here at 1800 hours. That's not even the right one. God damn it. Avalanche. There we go. Let's try again, dum-dum. All right, so we were sitting right here. We got a nice little surge overnight before it broke down. Look at the way Avalanche broke down over the last couple of hours. What do you think is happening right there? That is one of those gross, look, this is one of those scumbag leverage flushes. I'm going to tell you that most likely this is some ridiculous move by a market maker. By the way, the market, and look, I'm going to say this, market makers are bought and paid for by these centralized exchanges because they are out here trying to stab you in the back and stab you in the front and steal from you every which way. Because if you cash out and you win on your leverage trade, they get a fee, but ultimately they lose because they lose that crypto. And let's just say, for example, you put $50,000 into one of these big trades and you're about to cash out $1 million. They don't want you to have that $1 million. They don't want to change your life. What they want to do is they want to find a market maker who will dump so that they can liquidate you and take your 50,000 rather than give you $1 million. And don't think that that is not true and that that does not happen all day long. Okay. These exchanges are shitty people. Okay. Now, with that being the case, the liquidation price that we have right now is $25.92. I'm not prepared to go ahead and get out of this one at this point, but I mean that's an interesting sort of move that just happened that we saw play out. Now, the question I would have here would be, is that the entire market? Did we see an absolute crazy leverage flush happen with the entire market? And the answer to that is yes, we 100% did. The entire market was feeling this one. We got a big candle going to the downside while the market is pumping. Yesterday, we added $140 billion to the market cap, coming over or just about 4 trillion. Tonight, we've added 40 billion more, taking us up to 4.04 trillion in market cap. And for some reason, we're having this wild leverage flush. Let that sink in for just a moment. That is the shadiness of these market makers. Okay, so let's look. We're going to look around the rest of the market. We're going to see what's going on here. I'm going to give you kind of an update here. I have not entered any positions here. We're going to set up some buy orders right now, we're going to set some buy orders up tonight on the live stream to kind of get ourselves into position for whatever the next leg up is. We're going to look at it. I'm going to get an idea on these charts today. Then we're going to watch them play out for the course of today. I don't want to be, while I'm on a live stream, I don't want to just take, I don't want to just do whatever. I don't want to just take a position just to satisfy the camera, if you will. So we'll see what happens there. If you haven't already, consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. Become a member at $4.99 a month. It certainly helps me out, and it helps you out. Why? Because it makes you support me, and that should make you feel great. Also, terracasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. I hope somebody here won that poker tournament on Sunday. I forgot to ask, but I hope one of you guys won that poker tournament. Also, if you're trading meme coins or utility coins on the Terra Luna Classic Network, don't forget terraport.finance. Also, just so you guys know, I'm going to make this public right now. I'm having a conversation right now about becoming a validator for Terra Luna Classic. So I wanted you guys to know, you're going to be the first people to know this. As you know, I think that me becoming a validator is probably unfair because I'm a public speaker in this. However, there are a lot of public speakers who are doing this. There's a lot of people giving their opinion about what's going on. And there's a lot of people who are stabbing you in the back and front. So as a validator, my obligation would be to protect you, the investor. So if you want to be protected with your vote, come to me. I will set this up over the next couple days. Once I have it set up and operational, then we will have our validator. And I think, I don't know what the name of it's going to be yet, but I think it's going to be something like We the People. I don't think it's going to be Bleaves Crypto. I think we're going to make it We the People or something like that, because the people need to be able to speak, and they are being silenced right now by these shady, no good validators, these dirtbags, these low life, low rent scumbags, basically. And look, I don't like talking about people like that, except these assholes. You know what I mean? Like and let me show you why, by the way. I want to show you guys why, okay? So we have governance proposals that came up here. We've got one that's just not going to go through, by the way. It's called the USTD, USTD Decentralized and Fully Automated. Now, it infuriates me, really does, that it did not pass. Now, there are some reasons that I can accept and tolerate as reasons. And people like Lunk Live voted no with veto, gave me a reason that matters, okay? They gave me a reason I can accept, okay? Greenpeace, on the other hand, we do not support scammers who have lied to the community multiple times to obtain the community pool. Now, for those of you that don't know, this project was done by Redline Drifter. Redline Drifter took $50,000 to create a repeg proposal, which was then submitted. Now, for some reason, everybody thought, including me, by the way, who thought that that meant that they were going to implement a repeg proposal. But that was not what they were doing. What they were doing was just coming up with the schematic, which never got approved, by the way, by Binance or any of the centralized exchanges to make this happen. So none of that ever happened. Nothing went anywhere, but they got paid to put it together. And a lot of people were upset about that. Okay, including myself. Now, as a, I don't know if Greenpeace knows anything about this, but as a grown-ass man and an adult, if you're not a man, I mean, you're using, you're using, Greenpeace United uses Harvey Specter from I think the show Suits as their logo. So I assume that they're male, but I didn't assume your gender, just in case you're one of thems. And by the way, because they're trying to control everything that happens over here, I just assume that all these guys, that Jesus is Lord, I assume they're all just leftist lunatics. Okay. So you identify as stupid, I guess. You know what I mean? So anyway, they have really just some garbage reasons. Now, the other thing is what they're doing is they're stifling your progress, and then they're lying to you. Now, how are they lying to you? Well, let me show you exactly what happened here. USTD signal proposal originally had only 20% of the validators voted yes, 48% of them voted no, and 3% voted no with veto. Okay. Now, 52% of you good people voted yes. You wanted to see this. That is a majority. You should have gotten what you wanted, USTD. They rejected the will of the people. I don't do that. The will of the people was that we have a stable coin. The will of these validators is to continue to grift you every single month and steal more Luna Classic so that they can add to their bags this entire time. And every month they drain it. Every month, every single month, what do? They cash out in order to pay their bills, stuff like that. And where does that leave Terra Luna Classic? Leaves it right here at the bottom, and people are waking up to it. So as a validator, one of the things that I'm going to do, or at least one of my, it's early, by the way. I still don't know that this is going to happen, but we use my fees every month to burn Terra Luna Classic. You know what I mean? So I want to see if I can become one of the top burners. You know what I mean? And by the way, it's not necessary to actually do any kind of burns at this point, because market modules coming online, stuff like that. There are protocols that are going to do significant amounts of burns. I don't want me just saying I'm going to burn it to be the reason for anybody to validate with me. I want people to validate with me because I want to vote for the people. So we'll see how this all plays out. I'm having a conversation a little bit later on today to talk about how this validator gets set up. And again, come up with a name or something like that. And, just kind of see what happens over there. But just to give you guys an update, I'm going to maybe become a validator because I think these losers are just a bunch of fun stealing goblins who hate you. Okay. They hate your success. They don't want this thing to pump. They like it the way it is because they make, by the way, like, let's not even look at this. Let's be very, very clear. Okay. These validators, all nodes right now makes $7,000 a month, $6,859 a month. That's their validator income. AutoStake is making $6,552 a month. What are they doing for you? That's the question. What are they doing for you? KuCoin is making $1,733. KuCoin is making $1,730 a month as a validator. What are they doing for you? Lunk Live, $702. But Lunk Live, I can say at least he's got an entertaining project program, and he's also building WeSo, which although WeSo is not really taking off, as it were, there's still some tremendous upside. Like the DEXs over here, these are the decentralized exchanges. WeSo had $600 in volume yesterday, so it's not really getting the traction that we would want to see it get. But Terraport is about $500,000 a month. Garuda is about $300,000 a month, and TerraSwap is $131,000 per month. So there are platforms out here that are getting volumes. You know what I mean? So, but and by the way, I don't think that Diamond Hands built WeSo. I think he just kind of bought into it or merged into it with Lunk Live and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly how that played out. Could be that it was his project from the beginning. I don't know for sure, but. And also, it's got a fair amount of liquidity here at 150,000. One's got 744,000. One's got 714,000. One's got 411,000. So there are millions of dollars floating around in this ecosystem. It's fractured at this point, and we need to build. But also, there I am right there, TerraPump.fun. 32,000 in liquidity, but only $13. You guys are not building new meme coins. So come on, man. You know what I mean? And no trading on LunkPump.fun. So shout out to you guys. Happy Caddy Crypto. Don't steal my ideas anymore. Don't copy me. You know what I mean? Be your own man. Not my son, not my child. You know what I mean? If you are, send me alimony. Meme linked is down pretty good on the day. Had a just quite the little dump yesterday. I don't know what that was all about, starting to recover again, but just the other day it had that huge dump and then it got bought up really, really rapidly. And today, I mean, look, they got Crow Show, a brand new meme coin. I told you guys before, I'm not really into just launching new meme coins to make stuff happen, but it's not my project. This is Pablo's project. So, would like to see a bump. Look, if it does not pump here and it does not come up here at some point and close this little gap right here, if it doesn't do that, then people are not going to invest. They're not going to see any upward mobility. They're not going to see any upward opportunity. So I think he's got his work cut out for him at this point, because really it's just the liquidity is being drained even worse than back at the beginning. Like, it had a nice little run, had a nice little rip here, just did not sustain itself. So hopefully they'll get that ship righted. Now, as far as Devi goes, yesterday I explained to you that the the white paper had launched. You guys have probably, if you're interested, have probably looked at it. You've probably seen it right now. The key pillars right here: self-custody, RWA tokenization, MIS, CTS, fraud and loss protection, and built-in compliance. Everything that you need for institutional grade transactions. And that's exactly what you're looking at with Devi. Now, the only thing left at this point is to launch that public shard. Once that public shard is launched, which is on, by the way, a different shard mechanism. The architecture of the public shard is different than the institutional shard, meaning that it's just it's taking a little bit longer to get going. Now, I have not seen it launch publicly. It would be announced here if it had. And if I can take one moment here and go look, I do not see at this point that we've gotten an announcement of that launch, but it should be coming at any point here in the next day or 2 or 3 or 4 days. I would be increasingly upset if it does not launch. Okay, so we'll see what happens here with this. Now, let's move on from Dev E and go to Definity. Definity. Okay, so I've got some clarity on Definity. As we said before, we're going to repartner with these guys, and we're going to continue to talk about the Definity project because just a little while ago, they partnered with, and this is not public. This is, by the way, this is the same kind of thing as Devi at this point right now. So, I'm not sure when or anything like that. I have no data at this point. It is all just some random stuff that came in out of Telegram and some chats and stuff like that. But they have partnered with an institutional grade bank, which they've needed for a while. And that is going to be their bridge to traditional finance so that people can start doing Forex trading. And we'll see what happens with Forex trading. And by the way, $12 trillion per day in Forex money is what gets traded. That is a wild amount of money and a potential here for a massive breakout. So Definity, we're going to be watching with bated breath to see what happens. Now, in the meantime, MYX is down 19%, but Zcash continues to absolutely soar. Yesterday it was up 70%. Today it's up 25% again. Went to a high of $159. Unbelievable. It is absolutely crazy what's going on. But we got to pause for just a second because now we got to talk about the elephant in the room, okay? I don't know exactly what's going on over here, but let's go figure out what in the fuck is happening with Acceler. Now, it was my understanding, I got a message from somebody last night that they were launching at 4 a.m. I don't know what time zone that was going to be in, but it says, we are excited for the highly anticipated launch of XCL. Acceler is conducting a stealth launch. Contract address will be posted here after the successful launch on Uniswap. All XCL tokens will be airdropped to each holder's wallet immediately after the launch of the project. I don't see, and here's what I don't understand, okay? I don't see anybody having launched anything. There's nothing here that says that they've made a launch, okay? Now, going into their chat, boom, boom, right here. Try to right here. There's nothing. So I don't know what's going on. I don't see a launch. Junebug over here, one of the people in the channel, says, what's the contract address? And they put in the contract address right here. As matter of fact, people are saying right now that they're getting the tokens. So let's do this. We're going to pop this in. We're going to look at right here. We're going to go right here. We're going to drop that in. We got Acceler right here. And it looks like it is, for the last bunch of hours, kind of taken off here. All right. So then let's go look and see what we did over here. Did we get any tokens? Did we have any Acceler tokens? Boom, 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 boom. I don't see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Manage tokens over here. We're going to do this right here. It's not, I don't see. I mean, this would be where I import. Yeah, I don't see Acceler at this point. So let's do this. See if we can find Etherscan right here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so here's Etherscan. Let's do this wallet right here, and let's see if I have any Acceler tokens in my wallet. I don't have any Acceler tokens in my wallet, but I did send them over a couple days ago. I bought some for this. So I have not received Maz's yet. So again, I don't know anything right now about what is going on here. This really, that's just a buy and sell that happened at one moment. This is like 3 hours ago. This does not look like this looks like a honeypot to me, like right now, the way that the trading is going. So I don't know what that is. So we'll see. And by the way, this is launched without a website. This is launched without anything to it. I don't think that's real. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. So dump. And this was, what was the address here? 3515. This says that it's 3. Okay. Hardly anyone is selling on DEX tools. That's a buy and sell bot. It's just a sniper bot. Don't worry about the sells at the moment. Not worried, just observing. So 109 holders. So it looks like, it looks like it's moving. You know what I mean? So we'll see whether or not it does. I'm not looking, by the way, I'm not looking for a massive move on this. Here's what I know. I know Austin had put $20,000 into this, and this is looking pretty shitty so far. So hopefully we'll see something change over the next hour or 2 or 3 or, whatever period of time. Let's go over here, by the way. Let's look at it on DEX tools. We're about to move back to DEX tools, by the way. Like I'm getting kind of tired of, oh yeah, God damn it. The wrong, fuck my life. Son of a bitch. You got to copy this address and then go into Maury OT says it's a bad address. I don't know if it is or not. Like, here's the Exceller right here. I don't know exactly what is going on with this thing at this point. So let's do this on the 1 hour. Seems like it's moving. Here's the problem, guys. The problem is very, very simple. There is nobody who has posted it in here. There is nobody who's posted it on their X account or anything like that. So I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is that's going on. So we'll find out. When I find out, when I know, then I will let you guys know. Let's hit refresh just in case. F5. By the way, if you didn't know that, F5 is your refresh button on your computer. And there's still nothing there. So when I get information, I will let you guys know. You know what I mean? I will let you know. Now, Fear and Greed Index is at 64. It's about time to sell your Bitcoin. We got another 6 points before it's time to sell your Bitcoin. And by the way, remember, Fear and Greed Index, we were down at 111, something like that, when we hit 30. And now we're pumping back up. When we hit that 70, it's going to be time to take your profit. You will have made a pretty good amount of money. Will you have made a huge amount of money? Maybe not. But we're doing this based on the 30 and the 70 on the Fear and Greed Index. This might take a long time for us to get rich, but we are definitely going to get rich off of the Fear and Greed Index. So just waiting right now to see how that plays out. Yesterday, there were inflows in the amount of $675 million coming into the Bitcoin ETF. Oh my God, it's absolutely stunning how much money has been flowing into these markets. Yesterday, we had 19,000 Ethereum bought up, which is another 80 million, meaning we're at 13.92 billion. There we go. We're starting to see it. We get that 14 billion. Like that 14 billion is so close right now. By the way, nothing's going to happen for me, good, bad, or indifferent at 14 billion, but I just want to see it roll over. And I want to see a continuation of that Ethereum trend to that upside. By the way, while we're doing this, we can go back to the Solana ETF and look at what's happening at the Solana ETF. 13 million inflows, 18 million in inflows, 8 million in inflows, 10 million. Every single day, there's more inflows happening on the Solana ETF. It is only a matter of time. Remember, somewhere around October 17 is one of the final dates for one of the first Solana ETFs and XRP ETFs. We could see an announcement any day now for Solana and XRP ETFs. and this thing is going to absolutely light up. How is it a bad address? It's on their Telegram, which only an admin could have done. That's what I say. Like it, that has to be. I don't understand what's going on over there. But again, I don't know. I didn't put $20,000 in it like Austin did. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Also, if you can, I would like to set up my own validator as well. So if you can give me information on how to start that, be great. As soon as I figure out how to do it, I'm having a meeting today to figure out how to do it. All right, guys, I don't know if this is going to be in English or not, but it's Maddie B. So believe put it to you page Twitter today. When no, I will check to it have much thing to do today. Okay, so Maddie's got shit going on. So if I figure out what's going on with Exceller, I will send it out there, Maddie, and let you know exactly what's happening here. I have not yet gotten any tokens from them, so I don't know what is going on. I have no idea at this point. All right, so back to the matter at hand. The matter at hand is, where are we at in the market? Bitcoin is back to 119,665. Yesterday, I took the profit at 118,700. It is still continuing to pump, but I've already made my money, so I'm not really worried about where the pump is going. What I'm wondering, or what I'm waiting for, is up here, 124,000 roughly. Here's what I think is going to happen, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny bit of risk on this one. I'm going to take $1,000 and I'm going to short the market right here at about 124,500. I'm going to short it down to 117,566. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see a dunk as soon as we get done with this pump. Like, this is just another test of the all-time high. I think that if this continues and we break towards this upside, it's going to be time to short. And the reason for that is because, you get the big candle right there. And if it goes sideways for a couple days, oh well. What I want to do is I want to be able to buy the peak of that move. And I think the peak of that move is going to be somewhere in this neighborhood right here. Once I get there, we're going to short it just a little bit. We're going to see if we don't get an opportunity to get a nice little win going into this market just like that. So that's what I'm looking for on that. Ethereum, we also broke 4,400 last night, which is where we took our profit. Again, that was, $500-600. Wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was some money. And that was good enough, I guess, for this. So now what I'm looking for is we're looking for a test up here at that all-time high one more time, probably at 5,000. If we get to 5,000, then I think Ethereum could also come down and we could see a stiff sort of breakdown on Ethereum. So we're going to set tonight a buy order around 5,000. I'm not a fan of shorting in a bear market, but there is always correction. So if we get this move and the move goes up the way I think that it's going to go, then, we could be looking at just an absolute breakout. Now, the other thing is, let's do this. If we're looking for that move, we would be looking for, where is Ethereum max going to head? Right there, 5,500. So there's a possibility of a move all the way up to 5,500. And by the way, if I look at this and I take the tops over here, does that look like it's on tap right there? Does that look like 5,400? It looks like 5,400 is probably a little bit low for that full move right there. But if I take this top over here and I go with this top over here, does it look? Oh, shit. Messed that up. Stop sucking, please. Let's do that right there. And then let's use this top right here. And then let's say that right there, that little crossover spot right there, 5,100. So around 5,100 to me seems like it might be a pretty good entry spot right there. So we'll set a short right here at around 51. And we're going to put here short. All right, so we're going to set that up for short so that I remind myself later on tonight that that's the position that we want to get into right there, and that's the one that we're looking for that opportunity. Also, Solana seems to be breaking at the top again because this is the first time it hit that top. At this top one more time, I'm going to also be looking to short the market here at $250. So let's do this one as well, short. So when we do the stream tonight, I'm going to be looking at these, trying to come up with positions, and I think that those are going to be the ones that I'm going to do. XRP, remember what I told you yesterday? What you want is you want to break back down into this range and to see. So let's go on a 4 hour. Right here, we're in the 4 hour. 4 hour is showing that we're breaking above. If we get a test back down at $2.93, that's going to be your entry position. So if you are looking for, if you're looking to make a standard Fibonacci type play, you've broken above right here. You've got confirmation, which means that you have a breakout. This means that XRP has broken out. Now, the question is, will it come back down here for that test, the validation, and then will it break above and then go to 318 or 319? That's what I'm going to be looking for. So setting a buy order at $2.93 right now, probably going to be actually, I'd say $2.94. Setting a buy order at $2.94 right now for XRP might be the impetus that you need for a massive, massive move. Link breaking down off of that rip that it had up to $22.86. Now we went ahead, I cashed everything out. We took our profits. Again, we're sitting kind of pretty. The one thing that we're losing on right now, by the way, let's remind ourselves here. I am currently down about $400. So I've got about $600 still sitting in Avalanche right now. And our main trade account is now at $6,335. So from 5,000, what is it, 2 weeks ago that we put this in here? We're at 6,335. If we were to cash this one out right now, the funding is very small. But you know, if we get a little surge here, we are not getting a surge. We are getting an absolute dump. But if we get a little surge right here, then we might be able to make some of that back. We might be able to claw back some of that profit. But you know, it's not looking great on Avalanche right now. Not sure exactly what's going on here, but could be just the general market not favoring Avalanche, or could just be, again, that wick right there, that crazy little wick makes me kind of nervous about somebody manipulating the markets. So let's go look at AVX and let's see what's going on in the short time frame here. Do we have AVX? Looks absolutely ready on the monthly. RSI broke out and MACD crossed bullish. Breakout of this massive bull flag will be epic. Agreed. The AVX market maker sends its regards. There it is. Oh, everybody sees it. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Why I put alarms instead of limit orders. Avalanche Treasury announces a combination with Mountain Lake acquisition to accumulate over $1 billion in its treasury. This has got to be a joke. Yeah, there we go. Now we got people out here like this has to be a joke. Market maker stabbing people, like just daggering. We might see sharp attacks this week or next week. Take note. We'll talk again, my friends. Bitcoin not showing this price action. Only Avalanche. What's happening? And nobody really knows. For everyone's missed. Okay, so there's no news about why Avalanche is doing this, and that means that a market maker is in there trying to steal your liquidity. That's basically what it means. That's exactly what's going on. So we might get wrecked on that. If we get wrecked on that, then guess what? We're still going to be up $6,335. So we're going to let this ride for a little while, and we're just going to see what happens here. Now, in the event that we claw back up here over $30, go into that $30.43, I'm going to decide at that point whether or not we're going to take the profit. Again, my liquidation point right now is $25.92. If I can maintain and I can hold that, then I do believe that there's going to be a breakout on Avalanche. So, you know, perhaps what we're watching right here is just, again, some market makers trying to steal your liquidity because they are seedy. Guys, I cannot tell you what seedy scumbag, dirtbag pieces of lowbrow shit these people are, okay? That is the best way that I can even explain it to you, what scumbag, lowlife losers. Oh, good Lord. All right, Avalanche right here. Look at that. You got just jacked over here. And it doesn't even make any sense where it is. So we got to look at a higher time frame maybe. Let's go look at 1 week and see what happens there. Even with that, even with that, that's like, that doesn't make any sense. If it were, then you would come down here to like 29. Yeah, you come all the way down to that 20. Maybe the attack is on. Let's go look at a higher time frame and see what happens here on the 1 month. So on the 1 month, again, $29 going down deep into $29 is where the liquidity is, with the other pool of liquidity at 35.21. 35.21, you say to no one in general. Well, son of a biatch, let's go back over here and let's modify that. And we're going to change that to 35.20. So we're going to change that to 35. Okay. We're just going to take it to 35.20, and then we're just going to see what happens over there. If we lose it, we're going to lose it. Okay. If we lose it, we're still well up. We're still feeling pretty good about our position. So we're going to let this thing play out. We're going to see how much dump there is in this market, how much they're trying to steal from you. Fucking man, what losers. What fucking losers, man. All right. So SWE starting to break a little bit down at the heart line right there, which could lead to some downward possible entry position right here, and then a move back up. I don't know for sure yet. This could just be a pause for a continuation of this move right here. Now, also $63 what we're down on the Dow Jones today. So the market seems to be cooling just a bit, cooling just a little bit. Could be, by the way, as we go down here, we're going to start to see some cracks in it, if you will. We're still up 25 billion on the day. We're having a good day, but now Link is down 2%. Avalanche is down 3%, was the first one that fell. OM is down 3% all of a sudden. Conflux is now down 2%. Centrifuge is now down 2.5%. Theus doesn't really have enough liquidity to matter. Zebek is down 2%. BitTensor Tau is down 1.5%. Fetch is down 1.5%. Aave is down 2%. Injective and Jupiter both down 1 to 1.5. ICP down 1%. So we're starting to see some movement to the downside as liquidity is rotating. And that's what it is, by the way. Liquidity just rotating. Remember, we were at 3.8 trillion yesterday. We're at 4 trillion today. So a lot of money has been coming into this market. Next question, and the final question, and I'm going to get out of here. Government shutdown. Let's see if we have any information about the government shutdown. All right. Here's what Trump wants to do to reshape the federal government during the shutdown. I don't care. Trump and Republicans deadlock with, oh, by the way, let's, where would that go? Let's see here. I've got a, this is Donald Trump talking about government shutdown. Or this is a Republican talking about, or Senator Warner talking about the government shutdown. It's factually wrong, and I would urge you to actually look at the law which prohibits any undocumented person from receiving any kind of health care benefits. If the Trump administration is not enforcing the law, then I would ask the president, and I also say to the president, has made repeatedly clear in this. I don't often agree with Donald Trump, but on this one, he's 100% right. When he said repeatedly, years back, when he was not in office, that a government shutdown, it's the president's job to resolve that. If there's a shutdown, I think it would be tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. Did you hear that? Can you hear it? Donald Trump is saying this, guys, so it's true, right? Actually wrong. And I would urge you to actually look at the law, which prohibits any undocumented person from. That is the law. The Trump administration is not enforcing it. Well, then I would ask the president. And also say the president has made repeatedly clear enough. I don't know if you agree with him, but on this one, he's 100% right. Let's hear what Donald Trump has to say about this, not Senator Warner. If there's a shutdown, it's a tremendously negative market. His job is to get people to come together. What? It hurts sometimes, right? Oh, by the way, you know what he also said? He also said that if you plead the fifth, then you are lying, that you did something wrong. By the way, the reason I brought that up, at least we're on the same page right now and we know, you know what I mean? At least now we know. And we didn't have to use anybody else's words. We could just use his words. All right. So we have no news on the government shutdown right now. We don't see anything happening right now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen here? Trump calls for culling the dead wood. By the way, there's a lot of dead wood. Just because I'm not a Trump supporter doesn't mean that I don't think that he's right about some of this stuff. Okay, so we'll see what happens over here. Now, NPR says what's behind the healthcare fight that's going on right now. Earlier this week, Dems in the Senate refused to vote for the Republican short-term bill, which did not include an extension for the enhanced premium tax credit. So why do they matter? The enhanced tax credits are important for people who don't get health insurance through their job or public program like Medicare or Medicaid. This year, enrollment hit a record 24 million. That is only 7% of the U.S. population, but the people who rely on these plans are an influential group that includes small business owners, farmers, and ranchers, says Cynthia Cox, vice president of the programs on the ACA. Cox and her team just did an analysis on what will happen on people's premiums if Congress doesn't extend the enhanced subsidies. On average, we're expecting premium payments by enrollees to increase by 114%. So Donald Trump's mission right now is to make sure that you pay his wealthy friends more money to continue to provide you the same coverage they're already providing. Now, the other part to that is that what they're saying is, well, it's not the government's responsibility to subsidize that, right? It's the responsibility of private industry to make sure that all of those things happen. By the way, when private industry fails consumers, when it fails the economy, when it fails the people, that's when the government steps in. So what did we just learn? The reason that we have this happening right now is because private institutions failed the American people. So there's the questions, there's the answers, there's the pieces. Just pick your side and let me know what's going to happen right there. Again, I'm not opposed. I'm a tariff supporter, by the way. I think tariffs are a great idea. I don't think many things that Donald Trump does are great ideas, but tariffs, I think, are a great idea. Crypto adoption, I think, is a great idea. So there are things that he and I are going to align with. Generally speaking, I don't think he's a good man. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think any billionaire, by the way, this is not subject to Donald Trump. I don't think any billionaire is a good person. Mark Cuban, don't think he's a good person. Bill Gates, don't think he's a good person. Stephen, the guy who liked to eat all the apples, the Steve guy, I don't think he was a good person. Okay. So I don't think any of them are. So I'm not taking a side other than billionaires stick up for billionaires. People, we, the people, we have to stick up for one another, and we have to stop answering to billionaires. My opinion. Now, we'll see what happens with all of this, but at the end of it all, here's what's going to matter. That government shutdown is going to mess with the economy a little bit. How much it messes with the economy remains to be seen. I don't know that it's going to be a problem. In the short term, it could cause a dump in the market, but it didn't. It caused a pump in the market. In the long term, it becomes even more bullish for the market. Why? Because this would continue to show that the U.S. government is no longer functioning like it should be in a positive manner. And because it's not doing that, the flight away from fiat currency into digital assets will ramp up. Now, it's going to be incumbent upon this administration to reduce tax burdens for people for crypto trading, to continue to build the infrastructure so that all of these things that we want to see happen start to happen. It's incumbent upon them to make sure that there is a seamless integration of digital assets into our nation's economy. And that's the only part that really matters to me. So that's it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am heading to work out now. Time to get that swole on, if you will. It's not financial advice. I'm always right.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.